bottom here. Tanu Rabbanan. Omer Asora Kisu Get Lishti. Person says to 10 people, I want you to write a get for my wife. What he says, if he uses the term, as we'll see tomorrow in Amud Beis, if he says Kulchem, I want you all to write a get, that means I want all 10 signatures on the get. But if he says Asor, means any 2 of you 10 are qualified to write the get and to sign on the get. Kisu Get Lishti. It means, where's it? Again. Tanu Rabbanan. One says, 10 people, write a get for my wife. That means any one of you 10 people are qualified to sign on the get, to write and sign. Yochel about the zeshel of things that did Rebbe. Now he goes up to 2 of the 10. He says, I don't want you people. I cancel my original authorization that you 2 people can write. The 8 that remain, they're still qualified to write the get, to sign on the get. Not a problem. That the only way you could cancel the 2 if the others are aware that they were canceled. If they're not aware, they cannot be canceled. But my commitment, what's the argument? That when you cancel part of the authorization, does it cancel the total authorization or not? Rabbi is of the opinion that when you cancel 2 of them, the other 8 remain in place. If the other remain in place, they're still qualified, even though it's unbeknown to them that the 2 are canceled. Let's say they would now go right again, right? Their authorization is considered still in place, so therefore they're qualified to write and sign the get. So there's no tragedy to come about here. Before we had that, if he would cancel the agency and the agent's not aware, and he would deliver a get, we have a problem. She's a married woman getting married, where the get is not valid, because the person who gave her the get no longer represented the husband, right? But over here, when he cancels the 2 are canceled. They know they're not going to sign any longer, correct? And the additional 8, they're still qualified. So even though it's unbeknown to the others, doesn't make a difference.
He canceled the 2 that were canceled. They know he didn't cancel them.
No, he told them specifically, you're no longer authorized to write or to sign on the get.
But he told other people.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
The question is, why did he start with 10 instead of only 2?
Because he wanted to guarantee, assure that the get there should be witnesses available to write on the get, to sign the get. Okay. So Rebbe is of age about because lobat kulo. The Azli Hanoch Kasvi, the Avi, and if the others go and they write it and they give it, lichtu v'lisfu, let them write it and give it. It's irrelevant because the other ones are still what? They're still qualified in the full capacity to write, to sign, to give it. We say that when he cancels part of the 10, because since he appointed all 10 of them regarding the same get, so if he cancels any of them, they're all, the authorization is canceled to all of them. So the others who are not aware of the cancellation of the original 2, Azli, the Kasav Yovi, they go and they write it and they give it to her. And a married woman, believing that the get you received is a valid get, she's going to remarry, and we're going to have a problem with mamzerus. She's still a married woman. Okay? Because they're signing on the get. We're only applying the same principle. This is not, we'll see, it's rabbinical. This is all rabbinical. It's not on a Torah level, it's not. Right? It has how do we know about the mitzvah called the verse of from? Of course it says, so if 2 are qualified, what does that say, 3? To tell me that if you have 3 and one, just as if you have 2, if one of them is disqualified, you no longer have testimony. If you have 3 and 1 and 3 is disqualified, although you have remaining 2, which normally would be sufficient, they're disqualified. That's how we learn Eish Shabbat Motzei Shabbat, but that's in that particular situation. Nimtza echad mekarvu posel.
This is an aided.
No, they are aided.
So they're aided.
No, it has no relevance. We're just using that terminology. We'll see, Tosa. It's purely rabbinical over here. It's rabbinical. Ibo Seimo, another, it could be said, what is the machlokes? The Kuli Alba Eiv Shabbat B'Tzos of Lo Bat L'Kula. Even Rav Shimon Gamliel is of the opinion that when you cancel 2 of the 10, it doesn't cancel the others. So according to the first understanding of Rav Shimon Gamliel, when you cancel the 2, not only the 2 not qualified, all 10 are not qualified. That's Eiv Shabbat B'Tzos of Lo L'Kula. According to the second, not only are the 8 which remain qualified, even the first 2 are still qualified. Why? You see? Ibo Seimo, the Kuli Alba of Eiv Shabbat B'Tzos Lo Bat L'Kula. V'olchain, the time to Shimon Gamliel, what's the rationale of Shimon Gamliel? So Milslim Savde Babi Asora Tricha Be Asora L'Mishlufa. That if something is established within a certain context, it's the presence of 10, the only way you could undo it, it has to be in the same setting as originally they were appointed. I mean, just as initially they were all made aware that they're qualified and they were all present, when you undo it, it has to be done in the same context. No, it's not specific. It could be 8, same thing.
What rule is this? Where is that?
Rabbinical. You find it by Nidorim. You find it by Nidorim also, certain things.
Do you understand that what happened over here is that the man collected the 10 in the first place and set them as a group?
As a group.
Or did he
No,
go
as a
one
group.
by one
No,
by
no,
one?
as a group. As a group.
How do we know this? And does it make a difference?
Yes, sure makes a difference. Of course, if it's not as a group, one person has nothing to do with the other.
If he goes, with a wedding, 2 witnesses in particular, so he makes a telephone call to Shmuel and he makes a telephone call to Reuben. Will you be the witness? Will you be the witness? They were not together when he asked them, so they both are wrong.
Since they're there, they both have to be there. I mean, one without the other.
There, but I'm just saying the appointment of the witness occurred before the wedding. I'm appointing you to be the witness, and it was not done together.
Okay. As I said, this is purely rabbinical over here. We'll see in a moment. Because our concern is purely because some tragedy may come about. Right? We'll see. We'll see.
Now, if the men would say, in a group of 10, any 2 of you could
Same
sign.
thing. Same thing.
Same thing, though, because that's a certainty.
No, any 2 of you are qualified. So that means he's saying all 10 are qualified. That's saying any 2 of you is all 10.
So you would say any 2 of you of this group of 10.
Any 2 of you 10 are qualified to sign. That means every one of you is qualified to sign.
Yes.
Same thing.
So then if 2 are...
Are disqualified, they're all disqualified, according to Shimon Gamliel, according to one interpretation. So, and he canceled those 2, so nobody's qualified. No, he never authorized the others to sign. To sign on a get, I think you have to be authorized by the husband. They weren't never authorized, they can't do it on their own.
But you originally said all 10.
Yeah.
You're all authorized to be witnesses, you're all authorized to sign. Okay, then he says,
2 not.
you 2 guys,
In the presence of the others, not in the presence of the
presence of the other.
No, he says president, it's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
Well, it will be a problem, then he has to reauthorize the other 8. Right? The others have to be if it's Eidish Shabbat and Mitzvah Shabbat L'Kula, they have to be reauthorized.
This, so publicity remains.
No, but because they were all canceled. According to either pshat, they were canceled because it was the presence of the original 10 in the same setting you appointed them, and in that setting you're undoing it. So there's no concept. So therefore, even the original 2 canceled are not considered canceled. That's the difference between the 2 pshatim. According to Ibn Seymour, even the first 2 are still qualified to sign. Because that's the concept. Something that's done in the context of 10. This has to be undone within the same context. And since he canceled them not in the presence of the others, the cancellation is not considered cancellation. take a look at the second Tosfos on the page here. Even the two who he canceled, they're still qualified to write again, to sign again. The Tema, Tosfos has difficulty. On a Torah level, you could disqualify them, you could cancel them, even not in their presence. Right? That was the takana of what? Of Rabbi Gamliel. Right? I mean, I understand. He's asking why. He says originally, factually, why did they legislate this? That when you cancel, you point 10 together, and you want to cancel 2. If they're not all there, you can't cancel even the 2. Why not? What's the rationale of this takana?
The 10 rule.
Yeah, the 10.
Okay.
Right? V'yishloma kem shehutzchu l'sak shem bittul moel l'gabi acherim tiknu nami shlo yekoach levatel b'zeh haget klal. We're saying to the husband, you're not qualified unless you do it the way we prescribe it. We don't want you to cancel. All of them have to be informed about the cancellation. Because the moment you allow the husband to cancel without their awareness, he may cancel it with then even the witnesses are not aware. He may cancel the ones who are supposed to be informed. He may not inform them. So we don't want to make any differentiation. That's the rationale. So according to this, so 10 is not specific 10, right? It could be 8.
Well, I understand 11, but the problem is appointing a group of 8 and 10 because there may be a long look at it. They all want to be signed. I've been appointed. I want to sign.
If they're there, they sign. If they're not there, they don't sign. That's all.
Yeah, but if you were a conflict between 2 men, I won't sign.
6 of them could sign if they want. They could sign if they want.
I see.
Minimally, you need minimally you need 2. Okay? That the husband cannot cancel something unless the people are aware that they're being canceled. So even here, where they're being aware, but since it's not the identical setting where they're all there, that touches upon of cancellation where a person's not aware. That's what he says. Just as the ones who you're informing, if they would not be aware, it's not a valid cancellation, right? That's what we said earlier. So therefore, since they were all appointed simultaneously, we want they all should know that the husband should know he can't cancel a person unless all those who were appointed are aware that any of them were canceled. Not a mischief. Because he may cancel, because he may cancel 2 who have to be informed, and he won't inform them, and they'll sign, and it's not a valid get, because they're not qualified to sign the getting law, because they're not authorized anymore.
So what's the difference between that and someone saying, I want all 10 of you to write the get? What's the difference between saying no and that?
Well, we'll see in a moment. We'll see. That's the next question. That's the next question. That's the question the Gemara poses. He says, Kulchem.
Right, all you 10. And then what we just said about...
No. If we're saying the only reason why it's Edi Shabbat L'Bat L'Kula is because you could have a takala, according to the first pshat. Right? First pshat. If you cancel 2, they'll all be canceled out. We'll see. What do we say? Just about L'Kula. We'll see. The Gemara makes a differentiation. Because when you have some of the witnesses signing and the others are not there, they're unaware of so there's an unawareness of the cancellation. When you say Kulchem, there's no unawareness of the cancellation. Because they all 10, the witnesses know, let's say you appointed, I want all 10 people to sign, and you'll have 8 signatures. Because he canceled 2. So they know it's not good. So there's no way, so therefore it's never a problem. The only reason,
knows it's not good.
Every one of them, so under no circumstance could this get be given because you don't have all 10 signatures. Because the ones the ones who were canceled are definitely not going to sign. And the other 8, even if they do sign, it's not valid because you have to have all 10. Okay, that's next tomorrow's question. Why, if he says Kulchem? Iboilu, question was posed. Kulchem, now, If he says, I want all of you, all 10 of you to sign, what would be? And then he cancels the 2. Now, time of Shimon Gamliel, Mishum Ksav, Eid Shabbat, Musas Bod Lekula, Vani Kaven, Om Lekulchem, Lemotzi Kasvi, Viavi. So the 2 who he canceled, right, they're not qualified to sign. And the get cannot be given because initially he said, I want 10, and there were only 8. And in the 2 he canceled, they're not qualified to sign either, correct?
Correct.
Because he canceled
The
them.
all 10.
No. Even though the other 8 are not aware that he canceled the 2, right? The 2 cannot sign. If the reason is that in the context they were appointed, they have to be undone, be disappointed, right? So then, even the 2 who he canceled are not canceled. You still could have it with the kulchem. That's what the Gemara is saying now. If according to Shimon Gamliel, the reason why they can't sign is because the group who was appointed, they're all disqualified. When you part are unauthorized, they all become unauthorized. So none of them could sign. And here it's even better than that, because you only have 8 signatures, you don't have 10 signatures. But if you say in the context they were appointed, in that same context they have to be undone, so if he cancels 2 not in the presence of the others, what does that mean? Even the 2 are not canceled. So you could still have the kulchem, all 10 of them are still qualified to sign. We said it, we had Ibo saying it before. Let's say he says to 10 people, 2 of you 10, any 2 of you 10 could sign. If all 10 want to sign, if 2 of the no, and then he cancels 2. What are the 2 who he canceled? Are they still qualified to sign?
Yes.
No, it depends on the understanding.
Right. So it's not cool. It's just.
In that situation, I'm asking, in that situation, are they all qualified still to sign? It depends. According to the understanding of Eid Shabbat Matzos B'Kula, none of them are qualified to sign.
Right.
According to the second, they're all still qualified to sign. No.
2 that are disqualified are disqualified.
No. Even the 2 are still qualified.
Just the 10 rule.
Because anything that's done in that context has to be undone in that context. So even the 2 are still qualified to sign.
The presence of the 10, original 10.
Right? The way they were appointed, that's the way they have to be unauthorized.
And reappointed for those that remain.
No. You don't need a reappointmentship.
How would he cancel it then? How would he cancel it?
He has to get them all together and say, I'm canceling these 2, and then those 2 are canceled, the others still are intact.
Why, if he should cancel 2, unauthorized 2, not in the presence of the others, why are they not appointed? What is how does that
Because
work?
the whole,
He's got the power.
this is on a rabbinical level. This is rabbinical. On a Torah level, when you cancel witness, you cancel agency, it's canceled.
It's cancelled. So
Rabbinically, we're going through, Shimon Gamliel says, unbeknown to a person, he cannot be canceled.
But how does that work? How do they...
That's what we said earlier. That's what they do. We treat them as if she's married. That was the question.
No.
How could you give the get factually? He canceled the agency.
I understand, but there it's because they annul the gift in this case.
No, but in practice, we're treating her as if she's a married woman receiving a get. Same thing. It'll be the same thing here.
But in the halacha, she's not divorced.
Here she will be divorced.
She was
When
not
this
married.
get, when she will receive this get, how will it be perceived? Why is she permitted to remarry?
Put the perceptions aside. I'm dealing with-
It's always perception.
No, the technicality of the halacha. What is actually happening? I know the perception is that she's
The
got
2
divorced,
who
but-
sign, according to the second interpretation of Shimon Gamliel, the 2 we canceled can still sign, but they're no longer authorized. How can they sign? Because Chazal said they're still qualified to sign. Because when you cancel, they have to be canceled in the context that they were all appointed.
Right. It's nothing to do with Ada, but other people have to know about it. Because this is a different rule called the 10 rule.
It's not 10, it could be 8.
It could be 8, right. It's just what you start with is what you have to...
You undo it in that same context.
Okay, so let me just pose another case. appoint with an agent to go do a mission for me, and then I unappoint, could a bet in override that and say you're still appointed?
It depends on what yeah, of course they can. Yeah,
Theoretically.
they can if they ever.
For any reason that-
Yes, sure they can.
So
They
how
can.
does that work? How does
No
it-
problem.
how-
If it's, I'll give you. If it's monetary, it's hefker, isn't hefker.
Okay.
If it's marriage, they nullify the marriage.
And
So we deal as if the agent is still a viable agent, and he's still qualified to deliver the get. But the husband cancel it. It's irrelevant. The husband cancel it, right? You don't need an agent to bring the carbon. If it's your carbon, it's your carbon. Yeah, right. As long as the Kohen brings the carbon. Yeah.
You don't have to be there.
see, I'm still not. When he said Hefkebus, he said it was always to nullify something.
No.
It was to
We
say,
said yesterday, we said-
the money, I'm saying that the money had no value, and so nothing happened. I've actually nullified something. Now, how
It
do
can be
I-
nullified. No, it does not be retroactive. Be even from the very beginning.
So how do I actually make something happen?
You're not making it happen. It only appears as if you make something happen, but it never happens. It's never happened.
If the man appointed an agent to make something
Wait,
happen,
that this document will terminate the relationship between him and his wife. But that's not what, in reality, that's not what's happening. The reason why she's permitted to remarry is because we're annulling it. It's as if she was never married to the husband.
okay, so they don't really have the power to make it happen if they didn't. The man appointed an agent.
But that's what we discussed. That's Afkin Rabban L'Kedushim. They revoked the marriage from the very beginning.
I understand that.
So that's what we're talking about. That's the process over here. It's perceived as if she's being divorced, and the agent who's delivering it is still qualified to deliver, although he was canceled. Because we say that since Bezdin enacted that your cancellation is not valid, we treat it as if the agent is still a viable agent. That's the way we treat the agent. But in reality, that was the Mor's question. How could you treat him as a viable agent if the husband canceled him? That was the Mor's question. Versus on a Torah level, the marriage is annulled. But in practice, she could only remarry if this man gives her the get.
Is that what you're saying with this 8 and 10?
Same thing, same idea.
All right, then I'm okay with it.
Same thing, same
They
thing.
do not have the ability to reappoint an agent if the husband divorced.
Right, correct.
It appears that way.
Correct,
But
correct.
They do not have
That's
such
what I said.
ability.
Correct, correct, correct,
Then
correct.
I'm-
Correct. No, but the difference between the two understandings is, is it because Eid Shabbat Mitzvah Shabbat L'Kula, when you cancel the two, even the 8 are not qualified, according to Shimon Gamliel, or no, not only the 8 qualified, even the 2 he cancels is still qualified. Because you have to undo it in the same setting as if we originally established it. And since you cancel the 2, not in the presence of the others, of the other 8, therefore it's not considered a valid cancellation.
In that case, they didn't undo it.
No,
couldn't
they did undo it.
No, the man couldn't undo it.
The man couldn't undo it.
Okay, because there was a technicality.
Correct. But why is she divorced? She's really not divorced. It's annulled. If now these two individuals...
Torah law, he does have the ability.
That, correct. And these 2 are canceled. They are canceled.
And it's not as if the Chazal reappoint them. They're just saying, we're not going to recognize the cancellation. but
Correct.
The thing is annulled.
It's annulled.
It's not-
And it's only perceived as if she's being divorced.
Okay.
Right. That's what we're saying.
Somebody says to the 10 people, I want all 10 of you to sign.
That's kulchem. That's kulchem.
So he has, that get has to happen.
Yes, so we're saying, if kulchem, if you say the reason H Shabbat Mitzvah L'Kula, factually, only 8 are signing, not 10. So it's understood. It's not valid. But if you say it has to be undone in the same context they were originally authorized, so now we're saying even the first 2 are still authorized to sign. So all 10 could sign on to get it, although the husband can't.
But they have to, in order to get to be valid,
All 10 have to sign. All 10 have to sign. Correct. Because he said, "Kulchem, I want all you 10 should sign on to get."
Now, if the 2 that are disqualified sign on the get, but the other 8...
They're not disqualified. He tried to deauthorize them.
But the
So
guy
we
is
say-
prevented because 8.
No, but he said, Kolche, he said, I want all 10 to sign. And now they're only, because he canceled 2, there are only 8. So that's the question. If the cancellation is a cancellation, you only have 8, so you can't have 10. But if it's not a cancellation, all 10 can sign. Okay? It's not complicated.
That's what you say, brother.
1 second. Vahani, ibo kulchem mau, time rishim mishum ksav edishim avul sabas kula. Vahani came dom kulchem lo motzi kasvi yavi. Since he says I want all you to sign, and now all cannot sign, because 2 are cancelled. O deal of time rishim mishum the ksav kol milsel misavda babi beitros asora. Shricha be'asora lemishlefo. You need 10 to undo it. Mishum means undo it. Hilkach afil kulchem nami. Therefore now all 10 could sign. To be continued.